Thanks for listening to Dog Dish. Before we start, we'd like to say thanks to our sponsors. Porter's Pride is a raw, premium pet food with meats and vegetables locally sourced in the Pacific Northwest. Porter's Pride will ensure freedom from allergies, healthy weight loss, an increase in energy, and a reduction in the amount of stool produced. Find out more, check out Porter's Pride at porterspriderawdiet.com. That's porterspriderawdiet.com. And thanks to Addiction Pet Foods, they offer a complete range of cutting-edge foods that provide the most advanced hyperallergenic nutrition for dogs and cats around the world. Addiction is proud to have innovated the concept of using premium proteins such as free-range venison, salmon, kangaroo, and brushtail. Addiction Pet Foods. We go to the ends of the earth for your pets.
And thank you to our newest sponsor, Manning & Associates, not your typical accounting firm. For the last 13 years, Manning & Associates has supported our local community with general, forensic, and tax accounting to individuals and businesses. Located at the corner of North 26th and Proctor Streets in Tacoma, Manning & Associates takes the stress out of your day-to-day accounting and allows you to sleep better at night. Call them today at 253-752-3920 and mention this ad and get 15% off your 2016 tax preparation. Manning & Associates, not your typical accounting firm.
I'm Deborah Rosen. For the past 15 years, as founder and owner of Good Citizen Dog, I've been helping people to train their dogs using the science of canine behavior. What I'm going to do is help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hi, I'm Dina. I'm producing Dog Dish with Deborah. I've been training dogs for over 10 years with the Good Citizen philosophy, and together we will help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hi, Dina.
Hey, Deborah.
How's it going today?
It's going great.
Yeah, and I love, and I know you love the topic of this podcast.
Well, I'm not sure how much I love it, but I do know it's absolutely necessary.
And it's called Why Dogs Mark and How to Stop Them.
Yes, and the reason why this is a near and dear situation to my heart is my dad's new dog, Boomer. We've had him for about a year.
What is he?
He is a Shih Tzu.
You know what I call them.
I do.
Yeah, little shits.
That's right. And he is little. He's about 10 pounds. And
right.
We've spoken,
cute as all get out.
And he's a real fun personality. He's a good, puffy-chested little boy.
Right.
But he also is a street dog. So he has spent a lot of time outside before he came inside. And
probably having to take care of himself.
All by himself. And he loves being inside at night. You can't drag that dog outside at night, I'll tell you what.
Right.
You can't, no.
Because he thinks he's going to end up back out there.
Exactly. And he is very smart. And he knows where inside is and likes it. But he also has not had enough experience going into a whole bunch of other people's homes. And he came to visit you in your home.
Right.
And he marked.
He did.
So why don't you do us a favor?
And he still does at your house too a little bit.
Only outside. He does not mark inside at all. But what he has come to do, and I will talk really, really briefly because this is a different podcast.
And it's a really long podcast.
That's right. But this is a regressive issue. He doesn't get forced out in the rain because he was a street dog, doesn't want to be wet, doesn't want to be in the cold. And he's also a little dog. They have this syndrome. So if my dad doesn't force him to go walk in the rain, he will pee on the dry part of the deck. He won't go out in the rain even in the backyard.
Gotcha.
Folks, we have to stay on top of our training.
Yes, we do.
So in light of Boomer and his already established behaviors, Dee, let's get right into what we would do to stop him.
So you want to know why dogs mark?
I do.
Okay.
That's right.
So dogs, Dina, dogs can be very territorial. You know, they stake a claim to a particular space, an area, an object, whatever it is. And they use a variety of methods at different levels of intensity, and they mark. You know, some dogs will bark to shoo away intruders. Others go to the extreme of urinating or even defecating in some cases to say that this is mine, leave it alone. You know, and I think dogs also mark, I know this because of my dog Justice, they mark to track, to be able to track where they've been and where they need to go back to.
Isn't that brilliant? I love
really
that
is.
You mentioned that because just that science alone, that inherent behavior.
So I know whenever Justice is out on a hike with us, he'll mark, and then I always wondered, how can he figure out how to get back? He's always ahead of us, and he's always going in the right direction. You know, say we're going on a hike down a trail and we turn around to go back.
Right.
Okay, so that's another reason.
I love that. And I think you just helped me realize why Breeze does so much marking, and I never have to worry about her.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that dogs mark inside the house out of spite, though. And I think they're upset you've left them, or they think the dog is upset and jealous, and so they've gone in your shoe and they've marked your prettiest dress and that
kind of thing, right.
Do you think that's it?
Well, Dina, no, pets aren't people. People act out of spite and jealousy. They do. And it's not attractive when they do it. But we can pride ourselves on the fact that our pets don't. They don't urinate or defecate out of spite or jealousy. If your dog is urinating on your baby's diaper bag, for example, it's not because he's jealous of the baby or dislikes the baby. The baby's unfamiliar and has new or different scents, and the sound of the baby in the home is probably stressing him out a little bit, and people are behaving differently because there's a new baby.
There's all that frantic energy.
Correct. And then so the dog needs to reclaim his territory. I once had this dog that hadn't seen me for a while. It wasn't a puppy anymore, but it walked into an adult obedience class that I was giving, and the first thing it did was pee on my foot. On my foot, Dina.
Right on it.
Yeah, and it was the cause of a lot of laughter at the time and a little embarrassment on my part. And whenever I see the owner now, it's all he talks about still. And I know it was probably anxiety about coming in and joining a new class with new dogs, new people, and he was just releasing nervous energy. So,
what other myths are there about marking?
Urine marking is not house soiling. It's not that your dog is not housebroken. I get lots of calls from people saying that my 2-year-old dog is still not housebroken. And then I come to find out they're marking. And so, you know, house soiling is when your dog completely relieves himself or herself. And you know, there are a few reasons dogs may do this. One is they're not fully housebroken, or there might be a medical issue, or the dog, something has scared the dog terribly, and they lost their control of their bladder or their bowels. Another myth is that urine marking is most often associated with male dogs, but females will do it too. I had a female dog that would literally lift her leg up onto a tree to mark as high as she could get it.
That's what Breeze does.
Yeah.
And you know, I also had another rescue dog named Thor, and he was in a crate a lot in the foster system because he didn't get along with other dogs as well, and he always marked no matter where he was in a circle around his crate.
And we're going to talk about the reasons for marking. So first and foremost, I think people need to understand dogs need to be neutered and spayed. Unneutered dogs are much more prone to marking than neutered ones.
And running away, folks.
There's a new pet in the household. They could be doing it because of that. Even spayed or neutered animals may mark in response to other intact animals. Another possibility is your dog has conflicts with other animals in your home. When there's instability in the pack dynamics, a dog may feel a need to establish his place by marking his territory or her territory. Another possibility is there's someone new in the house, a new baby, a new roommate, a new spouse. Well, the worst thing of all is you get married, the spouse moves in.
And guess who generally can get kicked out of the bed?
Well, and then the marking ensues.
Mm-hmm.
So your dog puts a scent on that person's belongings as a way of proclaiming the house is indeed his.
Yes.
Okay. There are new objects in the environment, a shopping bag, a visitor's purse, the backpack that your searchy peed on.
Well, and I'm thinking too, when you said when they pee on top of it, they don't tip it over and pee under it and then put the backpack back on top.
Right.
They pee on top of it
That's
to say
right.
it's mine. You
That's
know,
right.
It's just so instinctual.
And then perhaps your dog has contact with other animals outside your home. If your pet sees another animal through a door or window, he or she may feel a need to mark his territory.
So I guess the next logical question is, how do you get him to stop marking?
Well, so obviously you got to get him spayed or neutered. So the longer a dog goes before neutering, the more difficult it will be to train them not to mark in the house. Spaying or neutering your dog should reduce urine marking. It may stop it altogether, but you may have to couple it together with some behavioral training.
As well you should anyway, because frankly, if your dog is exhibiting any of these types of signs, there's attentions to be addressed.
And in fact, you can go back to crate training, which is going to be another podcast, folks, because it's really a very, very helpful thing. And most people are doing it these days, Dina. They're doing crate training, but there are still some holdouts. So we are going to do a special separate podcast on how to crate train. But going back to the beginning is never a bad idea. So more tips. You have to clean soiled areas. You may have to get a professional cleaner in. You have to tell them that there's pet urine. Right.
Yep.
Another suggestion, keep objects that are likely to cause marking out of reach. So take your guests' belongings and don't put them on the floor. Oh. Don't put them on the sofa. Put them out of the dog's reach.
Good idea.
If you need to get a trainer in to resolve conflicts between animals in your home,
what's your number?
Yeah, if you're having marking because there is contention in the home between animals, address this. Restrict your dog's access to doors and windows so that they can't observe animals on the outside, and they'll be less likely to have to put their mark on things to say, stay away from here, this is mine. How do you do that? That's a little hard. But, if you're not home, you might want to put them in a baby-gated area or in a laundry room or in a crate if you have to. Mm-hmm. Okay? Make friends. If your pet is marking in response to a new person in the household, let them get to know this person or this individual or whoever this is and make friends with them. Get them to do a little training. So watch your dog when they're indoors for any signs that they're thinking about it.
That's right.
So shake a bottle of coins or get their attention and redirect them. If they're about to start urinating, take them outside and ask them to go there. And if they do so successfully within a short time, pop a very tasty treat in their mouth. Yeah. And then if your dog is marking because they're anxious, let's say you've moved to a new place and they're having some separation anxiety, this new behavior starts emerging out of nowhere, then maybe talk to the vet about getting them some anti-anxiety meds.
After you do some of these training methods so that you can let them reassimilate and have some empathy that they are going into a new situation that they haven't had an explanation
That's
for.
right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
What not to do, Dina? Bottom line, don't punish your dog for doing this.
Right.
Punishment, even if it's administered a minute or 2 minutes after the fact, is way too late for the dog to even remember why you've punished it.
So the whole rubbing your dog's face in it, that is of absolutely zero use. And it's just gross.
Zero gain.
Yeah.
It's not getting you or the dog anywhere.
And it's just rubbing it into your carpet. Why would you do it? Don't do it, folks.
And if you come home and you find that your dog has done this, just clean it up. Try not to get terribly upset.
And remember to be preemptive. Everything Deborah gave you as these options of the issues, the prevention was to be ahead of the issue. If you have a guest, close away their items. If you have an area to gate them off,
do that.
Exactly.
Do that. Well, folks, this has been Why Dogs Mark and How to Get Them to Stop on Dog Dish. Thanks for joining us today.
For 15 years, Good Citizen Dog has been the premier destination for dog training, dog daycare, dog boarding, and grooming services. Good Citizen uses the most modern, positive, reward-based training techniques. With our 2 locations in Western Washington and across the country, Good Citizen Dog is creating peaceful living with your dog. For more information about services or for franchise information, go to goodcitizendog.com. That's citizen with a Z. Or call 855-936-3649. That's 855-936-3649.